No matter what happens in the next couple years, it's not going to slow down. We're not going to go backwards. We're not going to sit on our heels and say that, hey, we've already done this. We can just wait and go slowly. There's a lot of motivation around the world to explore the moon and beyond. It's only going to get faster and more exciting, and more opportunities are going to open up and present themselves. My name is Jack Hathaway, and I'm the pilot for NASA's SpaceX Crew 12 mission to the International Space Station. I grew up in South Windsor, Connecticut. It's kind of a small, not quite rural town on the outskirts of Hartford. I ran cross country. I played a little bit of soccer, went to the public schools in South Windsor. I was an Eagle Scout with PAC 186. It was kind of a nice, relaxed, kind of normal American childhood. I think like most kids, I was interested in all sorts of things when I was young. Being an astronaut was one of them. As I started to grow up, I became interested in flying, becoming a pilot. Out of that grew out becoming a military pilot. I never really lost the bug. I was kind of always interested in space, but I fell in love with flying for the Navy for a bunch of years. I remember what it was like as a child, wanting to be an astronaut and all that sort of inspiration, and it never really left me. And I found it again, and then I found myself here. My crew and I, we're going to climb into the Dragon capsule aboard a Falcon 9 rocket, and we're going to ride that beautiful rocket up into orbit of Earth, and then we're scheduled with Expedition 74 and 75 aboard the International Space Station. Our goal is to integrate with the crew that's already up there and be able to operate and maintain the space station. I'm excited about the opportunity to participate in some of the 3D printing experiments that are going on in low Earth orbit. I think as we get further away from Earth, it's going to be unpredictable what breaks and what type of equipment we're going to need, and it's going to be harder and harder to produce it on Earth and then launch it into space. So our ability to create tools, build hardware, or even whole habitats with 3D printers is going to be key to our development moving out towards the moon and Mars. As you visit the different sites that construct the hardware, construct the rocket, or components and science experiments for the space station, when you get to meet those people and you see the passion and excitement in their eyes that they really want to be there, that they're not there by accident. They want to be part of that team that develops that piece of hardware, that piece of software, or that science experiment that's going to go to the space station. There's so many people around the world that are excited, passionate, and motivated to be part of human spaceflight. We have a short time on this Earth, short time in orbit, and someone else is going to have to pick up the reins after we move on to the next place. And it's important to inspire the next generation so they're ready, excited, and they can see what we've accomplished and then go even further.
So my name is Max Smith, and I'm a junior, and I was wondering if Earth is as breathtaking as they say from space.
I know, I was going to throw that question right back at you. Did you enjoy the view just now? I mean, I think it's pretty breathtaking. There's so many amazing things to see, and at such a scale, it's just absolutely incredible to be moving around the world at 17,500 miles an hour, and it takes us about 5 or 6 minutes to get from LA to New York, and you can just watch the whole country go by, day or night. It's pretty incredible.
Wow, that's awesome. And we did see that amazing view that you just had for us here. All right. Number 2.
Hello, my name is Ada Madros. I'm a freshman here. My question is, what has been the hardest habit to adjust to in microgravity?
Hey, it's nice. Thanks for the question. Man, the hardest thing to adapt to. I guess the thing that's one of the things that's kind of crazy is that it's microgravity, so things tend to float away. Like I have my water bottle here that I can take a drink out of. And you have to get used to, there's pieces of Velcro, and we can Velcro it down, or sometimes we have sticky tape that we stick it to. But if you just let go of it, and just starts to float away. And eventually you lose sight of it and you can't find it anymore. So one of the hardest habits to that I think is been to like remember where I put stuff when I put it down and make sure that it's Velcroed so it's there when I get back and doesn't just float off and get lost somewhere in a corner of the space station.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jack Tolson. I'm a senior here, and I was wondering, what's something about living on the International Space Station that most people would never expect?
Here, I'll show you. We don't wear shoes. Everybody just wears socks. Since there's nothing to walk on, there's no reason to wear shoes. So we all float around just wearing our socks. And all the socks get tangled up in all the Velcro and get all crazy. But yeah, we don't wear shoes up here.
Hello, my name is Aspen Douglas. I am a junior here. So my question is, what skills from your military background have been most useful in space?
I think a military background is very helpful up here. I think it teaches you to be adaptable, to kind of deal with unknown environments and things that are constantly changing and that you can never quite know the answer to until things happen. And you can get that experience in lots of walks of life. But I think me and Mr. Booth's experience flying planes in the Navy and the Marine Corps, like we just get used to having to adapt to the unknown that's in front of us. And everything about being on space station is kind of unknown, and you're not quite sure how things are going to work out until you get in and do them.
Hi, my name is Carice Herbert, and my question is, what was the most challenging part of your training before going to space?
Maurice, that's a great question. I think getting into the spacesuit and practicing spacewalks, you know, we have this giant pool that's 200 feet long, 100 feet wide, and 40 feet deep. And they've immersed almost the entire space station underwater. And we get into our spacesuits and get underwater. And we've the special divers there help us make us neutrally buoyant. So we float around in the water. And it's kind of the closest experience you can have to being weightless. And having to operate in a 400-pound spacesuit with just the tools in front of your hand in that closed environment is very, very difficult. And that was probably the most difficult part of the training I had before we came up here.
Hello, my name is Liam Mack, and my question was, what experiments are you currently working on, and how could they benefit people on Earth?
Hi, Liam. That's a great question. We've got a bunch of experiments going on right now. I just installed yesterday a new chamber for our cold atom lab experiment. And this is an experiment where we try to drop the temperature of the atoms under investigation down to almost 0 degree Kelvin, the coldest temperature in the universe, because special physics happens down in those super cold temperatures. Quantum mechanics becomes more apparent, and we can study it closer in those type of cold environments than we can in our normal environments. And up here on the space station, it's easier to study than it is down on Earth, because this particular science experiment uses a magnetic field to trap particular atoms. And under the pull of gravity, that magnetic field can tilt, and those atoms can escape. But up here on the space station, we're experiencing microgravity. Those atoms can escape the magnetic well, and we can get a closer look at them at even colder temperatures than we could do with the best labs down on Earth. That's a particularly interesting one for me, and it's pure science. We're not doing it because we think there's a particular application that's going to come out of it, but because we want to know more about the universe and how it works. And that basic research is in microgravity. It can only be done in one place, on the International Space Station. Now, for stuff that's more practical, I'll give you one more answer. For stuff that's more practical, we grow lots of crystals up here, because crystals, as you guys know, have a very ordered structure. But under the force of gravity, they can get pulled in one direction or the other and not have a perfectly crystalline structure. But up here in microgravity, we get away from that force of gravity, and these crystals can grow in special ways. this also applies to biological molecules where we can grow the beginnings. We're investigating the possibility of growing new organs and new types, not new or organs for people that we can use potentially in the future transplant. And that the way that these cells grow in microgravity is different than the way that they grow in gravity. And we can explore that up here, which is super exciting for the future of healthcare down on Earth.
My name is Jacob Walls, and I'm a sophomore. And my question for you is, what piece of technology on the ISS do you rely on the most?
That's an interesting question because we rely constantly on technology, right? Even though the modules of the station itself is just a piece of technology that we rely on to keep us safe. We rely on our water reclamation systems to absorb all the water that we breathe out, filter it, make it available for drinking again. Rely on our carbon dioxide scrubbing systems to scrub the carbon dioxide out of the air to make sure that we have breathable air. We rely on the thermal exchange systems to keep the temperatures, the correct livable temperatures up here. But maybe the best answer is my iPad.
This might be that planned changeover, that satellite changeover where we knew we were going to lose the data link. We'll see when he comes back. All right, since he has dropped off the feed, this is the planned outage. So he will be back shortly.
Back from the handover.
Hey, we hear you.
Wonderful. I can hear you too.
All right. Hey, there he's back. Well, we lost you right as you were showing the iPad, and you froze there for a little bit. You were telling about technology you use the most. If you want to tell them how you get your drinking water up there, that's a pretty interesting little piece of technology too.
Awesome.
You can hear us okay?
You're pretty quiet now, but I can just barely hear you.
Okay. Before I bring the next question up, I was going to say, hey, can you answer the technology that produces your drinking water for you up there?
Okay. The question is, how do we do our drinking water? Is that question?
That was the question. We were talking about technology you rely on the most. So how do you make drinking water in space?
Yeah, the drinking water is, we rely on a lot of technology, but as an example, water is heavy to launch to space. And so we try not to launch water on the rockets as much as we can because we'd rather use that space for astronauts or cargo or science experiments. And if we go to the moon or the Mars, we're not going to be able to afford to launch all the water we need. So we need to be able to reuse the water that we have on station. So we've developed lots of technologies that can reclaim the water, out of the air through dehumidifier systems, reclaim the water that we pee out, and reclaim all the water throughout the station, and then filter it and be able to use it again for the next day for drinking water or whatever we need it for. And we're well above 95% of reclamation of water right now, and that's due to the fact that we've been working on this technology for a bunch of years.
All right, here's the next question.
Hey, my name is Jonah Lacefield, and I was curious what inspired you to become an astronaut the most.
What inspired me to become an astronaut? I guess there's lots of things. Like I think when you're a little kid, you kind of want to be a policeman or a fireman or an actor or an astronaut. And when I was a little kid, I was like that too, excited about becoming an astronaut. And then me and Mr. Booth, we joined the Navy and the Marine Corps, became pilots. And I loved being a pilot in the Navy. And the thought of being a pilot for a space plane just seemed like the next coolest thing. So when I got the opportunity, I applied for the program and they picked me up. And I think being part of something that is all about adventure and science and seeing what's over that next hill and trying to do something that humanity can't do all that well yet, that we want to try and push to the next boundary. That's what keeps me here and makes me excited every day to come to work.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Captain. My name's Brooklyn. I'm a sophomore. And my question for you is, how does microgravity change the way experiments behave compared to Earth?
Microgravity does change the way some experiments work. Here on the space station, we keep the atmosphere the same as it is on Earth. We keep it at the same pressure. We keep it the same oxygen and carbon dioxide components. And we keep it roughly the same humidity as there is on Earth. So the big distinction, the big change when we do science up here is that we only experience microgravity, that we're floating around. And that changes the way that molecules grow, the way that fluids interact, the way that fire burns, the way that magnetic fields can attract atoms. Gravity plays a huge role in all of these things. And by being up here in orbit, we can take the gravity piece out of it and see what's different about how things react up here. For sometimes that means that we can make a better molecule and grow it better. And sometimes that means we can understand the universe a little bit better. Kind of depends on the experiment.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My name is Raymond Nichols, and I'm a sophomore. And my question is, how do you fix something if it breaks in space?
How do we fix something if it breaks on the space station? Well, there's no one else to fix it, so it's got to be us. So one of the things that we do during training is learn how to use all sets of tools that we keep stowed on board. We also keep a lot of spare components up here on the station as well. We get lots of training in how to do solve electrical problems, how to solve plumbing problems, and how to fix things generally. And then our extensive teams on the ground come up with a procedure, and that they go step by step with the setup on the ground at first, and then they send it up here on board, and we can repeat that procedure up here on the space station to fix whatever's broken. In fact, just the other day, we were installing a new exercise equipment, and the power outlet plug didn't quite match the receptacle that it was supposed to go to. The plug didn't match the hole. So we had to use a special pin kit to create a new electrical junction box so we could connect this thing to power, because we're not going to get another cargo vessel for another month and a half, and we didn't want to wait that long for an adapter plug. So we had to use our electric kit up here and the teams on the ground to figure out how we could safely create a jumper cable so we could connect this exercise equipment up and get new power to it.
Hey, my name's Hunter Coy, and my question for you is, what advice would you give to high school students who want to work for NASA?
I hope you're one of them. Everyone that wants to work at NASA, that's awesome. It's an inspirational place to work. It's a cool place to shoot for. My advice is to find a piece of thing, something about NASA that you love for yourself. For me, it was becoming a pilot first and flying in the Navy, and then being a pilot on my way to becoming an astronaut. I love flying, and it's awesome, and I'm sure Mr. Booth can tell you stories as well. But for you, it might be engineering, or it might be science, or it might be medicine. It might be a particular type of engineering or a particular type of medicine that you love to do. When you find something that you love to do, it inspires everyone that's around you, and it's super motivating for everyone, and that's what's going to make you a success. So don't try to pick out what you think other people want you to do. Find something that you're excited about.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emma Potter, and my question is, what subjects or skills should students focus on if they're interested in space careers?
That's a good question. And it's kind of similar to the last question too, right? Like, it kind of depends on what you're interested in. If you think that mechanical engineering is boring, but you think mechanical engineers can work at NASA, or you think that we need someone that can do material science, or you think we need a medical doctor, and you don't love that thing, but you try to do it anyway, that's going to come through, and your work's not going to be as great as it could. So find the thing about you that you love, and I guarantee there's some part of space exploration that's involved with the thing that you love, and you can find a job related to that.
Thank you. Hello, my name's Izzy Kaler, and I'm a junior. And my question is, what is your favorite food to eat while you're in space?
Favorite food. we have pretty good variety. I don't have to eat the same thing every day. Only repeats like every maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. Do I end up eating the same thing? But we have this dessert called the Cosmic Brownie that you can buy at the store. It's fudgy chocolate. It's got these little like M&M things on top of it, and that's my favorite dessert. My favorite thing to eat when I'm up here. We don't have a lot of them, but every once in a while I get one.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jamie Chandler. I was wondering, what do you do for fun when you have free time in orbit?
Mostly things like this. It's always fun to float around the space station and do flips and stuff, but looking out the window is pretty awesome too.
My name is Anna Torres, and my question is, what's something you miss about Earth?
I miss a lot of things. I miss my family. I miss being able to order out food that I want. I miss running water. Like a nice hot shower would be really nice. But I guess I mostly miss my friends and family. Like we're kind of up here, and my crew is great, and they're a lot of fun to hang out with. But I miss being able to go home to my family every night.
Thank you.
Captain Hathaway, thank you for those answers. Fantastic. I know we have just a little bit more time left. I was going to either turn it over to you to give us some final thoughts, or even maybe ask you about the ride. You took off, you're sitting on top of a Falcon 9 rocket in the Dragon capsule. Tell us about that ride, sitting there in the anticipation, and then when they light that candle. What was that like?
Yeah, sitting on top of the rocket is pretty awesome. But right before launch, the hardback that kind of holds it upright retracts, and you can feel it wobbling a little bit because you're 230 feet up in the air, 15 stories up, and the wind's blowing, and you can kind of feel it wobbling a little bit. And then you feel the rumble as the rocket goes, and that is just an incredible. You almost feel it more than you hear it. And the Falcon 9's got 2 stages. So the first engine burns, and when that engine's done, it stops, and you kind of feel this force as you're thrown forward in your seat. Before the second stage lights. It's pretty violent. It's pretty like you can't miss it. And then that second stage lights and you accelerate again. And then when that second stage is done, it stops and you get thrown forward in your straps. And then suddenly you're just floating in outer space. And that's kind of a wonderful, awesome experience. I got one other thing. If we got a couple minutes. One of the cool things about water in space is that it doesn't spill. Like if I turn my drink bag, it's not going to spill. The water is going to hold itself together via surface tension and create a water bubble. And you can kind of get it pretty big. And if you look through it, you can see me upside down. And that water bubble will just float in space because the surface tension holds it together. You can actually see there's a bubble inside a bubble. And then when you're thirsty, you can just gobble it up. So there's all sorts of crazy cool stuff going on in space. Got a little bit on me there. That's all right. Man, it was great talking to you guys all. Go Bombers. I really appreciate the invite to come chat with everybody. It's been awesome. I'm excited I could answer your questions. And I hope you guys all had a good time.
Yes, sir. Well, Captain Hathaway.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. You guys all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much for your time and your willingness to join with us today. We really appreciate it. We were thrilled. Thank you. Godspeed, right. And we'll see you back on Earth here in about 6 months.
All right. Thanks very much. I'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.